Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Captain Rye and today's YouTube video is going to be World of Warships. This is going to be me in my Scharnhorst this time around. Battle mode is standard battle. And as the battle gets underway here, I'd like to say that this battle was actually supposed to be the very first battle of my live stream on Sunday. Unfortunately, continuing with the pattern, for whatever reason, Twitch has not been functioning correctly for me. Specifically, every time I try to stream and any quality that's above 720, the stream quality is very poor, and after just a few minutes, the stream cuts out. And I get that notification on my end that says that the stream quality is too poor, too broken, and I should consider reducing. Well, even when I'm streaming at 720, the quality is well below that, and is way too poor. So, unfortunately, after just 5 minutes this Sunday, I gave up trying to stream. And this was the first battle of the day that I played that you would have seen on that stream. And I think you would all have enjoyed this battle and its live commentary, because this battle is a pretty interesting one. Additionally, I'd like to, say that this video on today release is kind of special because a year ago I sat down for the very first time, plugged a microphone in, albeit a cheaper snow globe, sat back and recorded my very first audio commentary for one of my YouTube videos. And it was a World of Warships matchup, which you can still go all the way back and look at, way back when the Fubuki was still tier 8. And a lot of things hadn't been changed. So, this video basically marks 1 year of doing YouTube voiceover commentary for World of Warships, Skyrim, Armored Warfare, all of it. And I'm happy to see the number of subscribers that I have gained over the last year. Now on to the battle. What's happening here? Well, the enemy team has managed to secure a first blood by knocking out one of our destroyers. Speaking of destroyers, I have spotted the enemy Mahan, who has popped a smokescreen, but my secondaries did rip into him quite well. I'm taking advantage of a friendly destroyer's smokescreen, but I don't want to stay in here because I know that Mahan is back up in that smokescreen, and I know he's got reasonably long-range torpedoes. So, if I stick around in this smokescreen, there's a very strong possibility that I might be torpedoed. In fact, I get my scout fighter up and going because I want to make sure that I spot any of those torpedoes, and there they are, that may be headed in my direction. So, because of that decision to not stay in that smokescreen and to turn away on top of that, I managed to avoid getting hit by any torpedoes altogether. Now, my team has managed to pull it back just a little bit. We've taken out one of their destroyers, we've taken out one of their cruisers, so that gives us a little bit of an advantage, a little bit more breathing room, but of course, enemy destroyer still sitting up in that smoke screen, and I'd love to hit him. Trying to shoot this annoying Boonda boy over here who has set me on fire already in this battle, and of course there's an Atago over there as well. Can I hit this Boonda boy? I get shots out, he's broadside on. Oh, yes. Nice big citadel there. Unfortunately for me, and fortunately for him, there's now an island in the way, so I can't shoot at him anymore. However, this New Mexico, he's giving me a broadside. I might as well shoot at him, cause some damage, and start whittling him down. Friendly destroyer up there taking a huge beating. Hopefully he can get away. Unbelievably, I managed to citadel that New Mexico at range with 11-inch guns. How I managed to do that, I have no idea, considering that the New Mexico's actually got reasonable armor, and at any kind of range, I've watched shots from the Scharnhorst bounce off cruisers. Take shots out at that Atago, managed to hit a citadel on him. Yay, it's Citadel City. First the Boonda boy, then the New Mexico, and then the Atago. That's kind of impressive. RNGesus is definitely taking a liking to me in this game. Haven't managed to kill anything yet, but my team has managed to take out all 3 of the enemy destroyers while only losing 2 of our own. So we are up on ships 2-1, plus we have a destroyer advantage. That destroyer advantage, very important. As I always say, the team that gets that destroyer advantage early on in the game usually can go on to win it. Enemy, Boonda Boy up there, very low health, managed to hit him for 4 regular penetrations, but I didn't kill him. That must mean he's extremely low health. Look at that. RNGesus gives me all these wonderful hits with citadels and then leaves me hanging, or I should leaves him hanging by a thread with just 300 HP. Fire out shots, kind of hoping I can hit him, but no, he turned away. Those shots were dead on too, and if he hadn't turned away, I'd have secured my first kill in the game. So far, I've managed to do 80,000 plus damage, and I haven't actually killed anything yet. The enemy team is starting to pull back a little bit on the scores. They've managed to take out 3, so they're only down 1 ship. Keep in mind that this is a Tier 8 battle, and there's a Tier 8 CV on each team, and it's about this point that I remember that, as the enemy aircraft carrier is sending his planes in to try and torpedo me. So he's got 2 torpedo bomber squadrons, and I believe he's got 2 dive bomber squadrons. So I've got my anti-aircraft flag for the torpedo bomber squadron coming in here, turning in hard. Hopefully I can close in. Managed to shoot down 2 of them. Come on, yes, that torpedo does not arm before it hits me. Unfortunately, the other enemy squadron manages to get all 4 off, and I slam on the brakes. Ooh, I take 2, but only 2. In that situation, slamming on the brakes as hard as you can, one of the best things you can do. If I had continued going full speed ahead, he probably would have hit me with 3. Avoiding that 1 torpedo is going to come back at the end of this battle as the saving grace. Since the New Mexico up there, or the Colorado up there, is sailing away, I really don't expect to get too much of a big hit on this guy, but somehow, again, some way, RNGesus has granted me the hit of a lifetime as I do over 10,000 damage. No citadels, but 10,000 damage to that Colorado. There's that Boonda Boy up there, he very low health. I get my rear guns out at him. Those are the only shots, as I'm trying not to get set on fire by this guy again. Citadel him and secure my first kill in this battle. Enemy New Mexico up there that I'd been shooting at repeatedly throughout the battle. He's broadside on, gonna try and hit him, and hopefully I can do some damage. Only ricochets, though. At this point, I realize the situation I'm in is I took a big hit from this Tirpitz earlier, so I'm gonna turn away a little bit, try and angle my ship to deal with this Tirpitz. With any luck, I can hit him, and I can cause some damage to this guy, and help my team secure another kill. All the destroyers on my team are pretty much dead at this point. The enemy CV, he's got it out for our last destroyer as well. And eventually, he's going to go down. But we still do have one, which still gives us that little bit of an advantage. So I'm still trying to keep my shots out at this Tirpitz. With any luck, I can land big hits on him, and I can finish him off. Of course, for whatever reason, my rear turrets seem to be doing some kind of penetration damage on the superstructure, but my forward turrets just keep bouncing off and breaking apart, or missing altogether and doing no damage. Sometimes the RNGesus on the Scharnhorst can be a little finicky, which is why she's not known for the best accuracy. Taking advantage of the situation, though, the Tirpitz and that Colorado are preoccupied with other things. Specifically the Tirpitz, who is in range. The Colorado, I'm pretty sure, is well outside of his range, so I don't really have to worry too much about him shooting at me. But I do need to pay close attention to the other ships around me, because I don't want to be giving a broadside. Enemy Tirpitz is finally down. I'm going to take the opportunity to close in on that Colorado and cause damage to him. If there's one thing I love to do in the Scharnhorst, it's close in with the limited health I have, use my armor as best as I can to angle against their shots, and then torpedo them at close range, because they always forget that I have torpedoes. There's my 100,000 damage done in this battle, and my team is winning pretty well at this point, because we're way up on ships. But remember, that carrier is still sending planes, and there are some of us who are pretty low health. I still have a repair ability, but you'll notice that I don't have any more health that I can recover with it. So where I'm sitting at currently, is the maximum possible that I'm going to have. If this Colorado decides to focus his attention on me, it could really start to hurt. I get my scout fighter up again because I know that enemy aircraft carrier is probably looking for easy to kill targets, and since I'm such low health and currently engaged in a fight with a ship, it means I'm going to be more concentrated on trying to angle my ship against him rather than deal with incoming torpedo planes. So anything I can do to maybe dissuade that carrier from taking shots at me with his dive bombers and torpedo bombers is something that I can do. The New Mexico off there, I had only meant to fire my rear gun, but by the time my rear gun was on target, my forward guns had reloaded, so now I've kind of adjusted my fire a little bit, and I've got a staggered situation. This Colorado is headed straight for that island. He's got one of two options. He can either turn in or turn away. I get my torpedoes off because if he doesn't do either of those, he's going to sail right into my torpedo range. He's starting to take shots at me. There's some hits that I was afraid he was going to do. Managed to secure my Confederate. Now, the friendly aircraft carrier is sending his planes over here. And this is really kind of one of those, teamwork situations. He does an excellent job of putting a nice spread of torpedo bombers out there, and it looks like he's going to secure the kill on that Colorado. I was kind of hoping that it would come to me, considering how much of the damage that I did to him, and it's a little disappointing. The CV could have also directed his aircraft somewhere else, because I did have torpedoes headed at that guy, so he was going to go down one way or the other. Now, I'm blazing away with my anti-aircraft guns here on the enemy fighters, trying to shoot it down and preserve as many of the aircraft from the friendly CV as possible. And that CV, very smart, vectoring his aircraft over top a friendly battleship. Enemy New Mexico up there is isolated at this point. He's not got a lot of places to go. So I'm getting my forward guns out here. I'm trying to shoot at him. I'm kind of deciding which side of the island I want to possibly go and confront him on. I know he's going to disappear behind this island, and he's going to be out of range of my guns. Unfortunately, as I contemplate which side I'm going to go to, he gets taken out by the friendly Colorado. So now the enemy team only has a Colorado and their aircraft carrier left. At this point in the game, I've done 120,000 damage, but I've only got one kill. Though, given the fact that I have no more heals left, I'm looking pretty solidly at a dreadnought. There's the enemy Colorado. He is bow on to me, and I've got armor piercing loaded still. Who knows, I might get lucky and hit this guy again for a 10,000 damage hit. But it looks like, nope, shots are just bouncing off. Now, I'm angling my ship in such a way that I'm trying to get my rear turret back around here because I want to have that added firepower. But I'm also trying to use these islands as cover and concealment as closely as possible. Friendly Colorado, not paying too much attention, kind of runs right into me as I cross in front of him. But you know what? That's okay. I'm going to pay him back a little bit later as the enemy carrier decides to send his planes back over to us. And I'm paying attention to this mini-map, and I'm looking at the situation, and I see the fighters coming in, but there's the torpedo bombers. So, torpedo bombers are coming in. I have them flagged for my AA. It looks like I'm going to eat one here. Ooh, yes, it did arm before it hit me. But now I've got to deal with the second set of torpedo bombers coming in. So I'm going to continue my turn hard to starboard to get my bow pointed in the direction, because it's a lot easier to torpedo beats when you're turning into them than when you're turning away. Friendly Colorado, though, he's got his anti-aircraft blazing away. And yes, that friendly Colorado just ate two of those torpedoes, but as a result of him doing that, he actually blocks them from getting to me. Because he has more health than me, I kind of consider this a great advantage, as I use him as a technical shield. And of course, a little paint swapping there as I try and get turned back around now. The Scharnhorst may be quick, but its turning circle not as good as the Colorados. Speaking of Colorados, the enemy Colorado still up there, still hanging on by a thread. At this point, I should really consider switching over to high explosive and shooting at this Colorado, because he's at such an extreme angle, most of my shots are bouncing off of his belt armor. But I'm kind of hoping that he'll turn broadside on like he's doing to try and get his forward guns pointed in my direction. Enemy aircraft carriers sending even more planes, but thank God he's being short-sighted and he's going for the friendly Colorado rather than the battleship, me, who's lower health. If you're playing in a CV, target prioritization is a huge thing to consider. You have to take a look at everything that's going on around you. And in this situation, I should have been the priority target because I'm so much lower health than the Colorado. So it's now at this point that I finally decide I'm going to switch over to high explosive in an effort to hit this Colorado and maybe light him on fire. Get my ship angled here, get my rear guns pointed back there. Here come more enemy aircraft as that CV is possibly trying to finish me off. At this point, if I take one more torpedo, depending on where it hits me, that could be a bit of a problem. Enemy Colorado gets shots off as he finally meets his maker and is sent to the briny deep. Fortunately, none of those shots actually managed to hit me. So again, I'm hard in a turn. It looks like, because of this turn, I'm just going to have to turn all the way back around and get back to the direction that the enemy base is. We know the enemy CV is somewhere up there. He's most likely back behind that island, because that's generally speaking where enemy aircraft carriers like to sit. It's also where friendly aircraft carriers like to sit. So if you're in a sneaky torpedo boat or you're a CV, you should know that sitting behind that island tells people like me that you're not very good, or if I'm playing a carrier, that I'm going to send all my planes over there and hit you while you're not paying attention. Enemy aircraft carrier has been spotted thanks to our friendly aircraft carrier sending torpedo planes off at him. He's just outside of my maximum range, and as he's sending more planes over to deal with that Colorado, I'm going to get my scout fighters back up, airborne once again, because, as I said before, I cannot take shots in. I can't get hit by bombs, I cannot get hit by torpedoes, or I'm going to be finished off. And considering that I want that dreadnought, I'd rather not get finished off. That CV does take some torpedo hits. He's currently sitting straight on in the border and not moving. I don't know if he's backing up into the border, but it doesn't look like it. He's just barely inside range, so I get shots out there. And I get my rear guns lined up here, and I watch the fall of my shots because that CV disappeared. He's no longer detected as he's destroyed the friendly squadron. So I saw where those shells fell, and I saw the explosions that they made when they hit that CV, and so I'm directing my fire where those shots are impacting. Now, because I'm not actually being able to target anything, the RNG's dispersion sends out doesn't hit them in a super concentration. But somebody got close enough, that CV is spotted. Looking at the timer, these are the last shots I'm going to get out in this battle. Those high explosive shells lower him down. Can I kill him? Yes. There's my high caliber and my second kill of the game at 150,000 damage done. High caliber, Confederate, and Dreadnought in one battle. So far, still loving the Scharnhorst. And I hope this battle and my explanations of what's going on, maybe you can implement some of these play styles into your own play and have battles like this where you survive and do high levels of damage for your team. Top of the team for XP earned well over 2,000 base XP, and myself and that Colorado shot down a staggering number of planes in that battle. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you like the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me and my channel, you can do so by visiting my Patreon and donating there. If you'd like to help me deal with my Twitch problem, you can do so by following my Twitch channel and leaving a comment down below as to some alternatives that I might consider using. And if you'd like to send me a replay like this one to see on my channel, you can do so by sending it to my email. As always, you can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And I want to say thank you for a wonderful year of YouTubing. As always, I'll see you guys next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.